What is up, people of Earth, TGC students, coming to you live from my kitchen. I hope your summer is off to a dynamite start. I want to share something with you. We're going to try something in TGC Youth over the summer while we're not meeting on Sundays. And we're calling them Take Fives. We're going to take 5 minutes and share a thought, either one of our leaders or maybe one of you. As we move through the summer, we'll just share a little thought that you've had about God or a life of faith or what's going on. And we're going to put them up on the Instagram and YouTube. So yeah, this is the first one, the first Take Five. And I want to roll off of what we were talking about on Sundays before we broke for the summer, moving through the book of Acts. We read, up to chapter 7. And it's pretty wild. You see these untrained followers of Jesus, these fishermen and people who have been following him around who, you wouldn't expect them to be able to change the world. And yet they start to move in the power of the Holy Spirit and share this unbelievable message of grace in the gospel. And yeah, some unbelievable results begin. But kind of unexpectedly, there's this, real intense persecution that arises in Jerusalem amongst the early believers. And Jesus had said, "You're going to be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the uttermost parts of the world." And you had to think, when they heard that, they thought, how on earth are we going to accomplish that? And this persecution, gets stirred up, and I bet not many of them would have thought that that was going to be the thing that propelled them forward, maybe beyond what they would have expected was possible. And there's this wild story we read in Acts 7 where Stephen is stoned to death. It's such an intense story, and it says that the people who participated in that laid their coats at the feet of a man named Saul. And so you have this guy Saul, and it says at the beginning of Acts 9 that he was still breathing murderous threats against anyone who identified with Jesus. He was he thought that he was fighting to keep the Jewish faith pure, and so he was totally anti-Jesus. Anti-Jesus movement was literally going to have Christians arrested, and he has this unbelievable encounter with Jesus, famously on the road to Damascus. Jesus comes and introduces himself to this guy Saul, and it's wild what Jesus said. He said, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" And if you look at the story, Saul was persecuting the believers, those who had trusted in Jesus, the church. And Jesus so identifies with them that he says, "Why are you persecuting me?" And that's mind-blowing to me. And then Saul makes this radical change in his life after being introduced to Jesus. His entire story changed. He ends up writing over half of the New Testament. And him personally sharing the message of Jesus changes the known world at that time in a significant way. And it makes me think a couple of things. One, when really difficult times come into our life, there's no way around those. Maybe really, really hard, but sometimes God is doing something else in the midst or underneath just the difficulty, and we can start to pay attention to, hey, is there some expanding of the capacity of my life, or a new opportunity that's coming through this difficult time. Another is we have friends all across the spectrum of belief or wherever they might be, and Saul is an example that you never know where someone might end up based on where they start. Radical change and transformation is possible, and that's beautiful and inspiring. And the other is when a life is really changed, it's hard to imagine the impact of that. And it's like if you throw a stone in a still pond and the concentric circles ripple out. That's how our lives are. Often we don't even know the full reach of the impact that we can have. And so just want to encourage you with that every person that we show love to or share Christ with, we have no idea how that's going to go from there and end up changing their life and their world around them. So that's a Take Five for today. Looking forward to seeing you guys at some hangouts in the near future. tgc.nyc/Six Flags if you want to register for our Six Flags trip on July 31st. It's going to be a blast, and look forward to a fantastic summer. Cheers, everyone.